Good afternoon. I'd like to call this meeting to order, the City Council of Redlands. And do we have any public comment? I don't see any speaker slips. I don't see anybody in the audience. I don't see anybody on Zoom. Madam City Attorney, what do we have on the docket?
Thank you, Mayor. We have two items. Conference of Legal Counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1. In one case, Coyote Aviation versus City of Redlands et al., San Bernardino County Superior Court, case number CIV SB 2418252. The second item is Conference of Legal Counsel, initiation of litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D4 in two cases.
Okay, thank you. I'll recess the City Council meeting to closed session. Good evening. I'd like to reconvene the City Council meeting. I'd like to have the record reflect that Mayor Pro Tem Mark Shaw is not here today, and we'll proceed with the invocation by me and then the Pledge of Allegiance by Highland Grove Elementary School. So if you would, please stand. Heavenly Father, we come before you with all humbleness in our heart. We know there's a lot of things happening here in the United States and abroad and throughout the world. Please watch all over all our families, all those first responders, and those that are serving in our military as they're protecting our country. We ask you now to guide us with wisdom, that we may discuss things and have a pure heart in the decisions that we make moving forward. We ask you all this in your name, amen. Amen. Okay, Highland Grove, come on up.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We're just going to take a photo op with our students. Hold on, students. Oh, yeah, they can move forward. Perfect. All right, students, thank you so much. What's your mascot at your school?
Grizzly bear.
Okay, Grizzly Bear. Come on in. The Grizzly Bear. Okay, good. Hold on. Okay, one more. One more. Perfect. No.
She's not. Come on, Christine. Oh, sorry. Okay, you're good.
Hey, good. Thank you. It's always nice to see the students take a little bit of initiative to come out and be a part of our civics engagement, our city government. Next is our closed session report. Madam City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 1 on the closed session agenda, there was no reportable action. And item number 2, the report out is that tonight the City Council in closed session authorized its legal counsel to initiate litigation in 2 cases. The defendants and other details of the case shall, once formally commenced and filed, be disclosed by any person upon inquiry. The motion to authorize the litigation was made by Councilmember Tejeda, seconded by Councilmember Barrich, and passed unanimously. And for the record, Mayor Pro Tem Mark Shaw was absent from closed session tonight. That ends the closed session report.
Thank you. We'll now move on to our presentations, part of our agenda, our Redlands Pet Adoption, Redlands Animal Control Services. Supervisor Joe, give us a report.
There you go. Testing. Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the Council, members of the community. My name is Joe Alcaraz. I am the Animal Services Supervisor. I'm not going to take much of your guys' time, but I've been told this is the best part of the show, so welcome to the best time of the show. I'm going to go over some numbers for the month of February. This is from the beginning of February 2026. This is our live release rate. Our beginning numbers for our animal population, we started out with 45 dogs. At the shelter, we had a total of 34 dogs, 11 cats. We ended up doing 38 intakes. We did 33 dogs, 5 cats. We also did our total animal outcome. This means how many dogs left the shelter. So our adoptions, we did 16 dog adoptions for the month of February, and we did 14 return to owners. So when your dog is lost, you come pick up your dog. That is what we call a return to owner. Now, we had some success. We had some transfers. We had 3 dogs that were transferred to rescues, and we had 2 cats that went to a rescue as well. Current population right now, guys, we have 27 dogs and 7 cats. So this is actually pretty low. That's actually a good number. We have capacity at this time of 28 kennels. So we have 27 dogs and 7 cats. That's a good count. That's a good day in the animal services day. Oops, sorry. All right. We just started our new contract with Pet Hospital of Redlands plus Urgent Care. This is the veterinarian staff that have been coming in. Every Tuesday they come in and they help out, provide medical care for our animals. They've been doing a great job helping us out, providing care for all our animals, and they've been doing a great job just kind of providing whatever we need. We get immediate vet care when we need it, and they've just been working really well with us. So we're hoping to continue this relationship that we started, and we continue to have a strong relationship moving forward so we can provide top quality care for all our animals at our animal shelter. So tonight's spotlight, we have Sourdough. This is what we have here. Sourdough is a 1-year-old spayed German Shepherd. Came into our shelter February 18th. She's a young dog full of energy. If you guys can see, there you go. You guys can see right here on the picture, she actually came in, she had a bone stuck in the bottom of her jaw. When we saw that, we could not remove it. She was stuck like that for a while, so we had to get medical care to remove that from her. After that was removed, she was much better. Sweet dog, super happy. She's available for adoption right now. She's already fixed, and she's ready to go. So if you guys were interested into adopting her, taking her to your home, making her get her forever home, she's available now, guys. So I also have one more update for you guys. You guys remember Wizard from last month? Wizard finally got adopted. Wizard was our longest resident at the City of Redlands shelter. He was there since August, and he just got adopted the beginning of February, the beginning of February. So he is, thank you. So that's a success for Wizard. He has a good home, and he has a little sibling down. He had 3 legs, so he had a little tripod buddy with him. So he's super happy, and we're happy to see him find his forever home. So thank you guys. Like I said, I won't take much of your time, but I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
So next on our agenda, we have 2 presentations, but first I want to acknowledge that March is Women's Month, and we want to acknowledge all the women in our lives, our grandmothers, our mothers, our wives, our sisters, and all those in the community that have made their families successful, and we want to acknowledge all the women in our community and throughout the nation that this is National Women's Month, the month of March. So let's give a round of applause for for all of our mothers and all of the women in our community. So the first proclamation I have is really it's to acknowledge the work and the advocacy that has not gone unnoticed. Gayle Howard is going to be the recipient of this Women's Month history. She's been a longtime advocate. I've known her most of my life, and she's an outstanding citizen in our community. She has 2 children, one graduated from Utah State and University of Utah. Okay, I want to get that right. The Utes, right? Yep. Yeah. Okay. Great. So she has one, Jordan, and then she has Sadie. Sadie, who's in the military, but she served in the Navy, right?
No, my niece did.
Okay. Well, see how much. But she's also been an advocate for young people in our community. She also she's been a major fundraiser for the Heroes and Helpers, which is the police department's Christmas for the youth in our community. She's been a staunch fundraiser. If you've ever been approached by Gayle about wanting to donate she doesn't let you loose until you donate some money. So, but she does it in a way that's really kind and giving, and so she's done a lot of that too. She also has been a mother and a confidant of a tragic incident that happened how many years ago now?
2001.
So 13 years ago? 13 years ago, we had a double homicide here in the city of Redlands, and she has maintained a memorial walk every January the 5th, and parts of the community coming together so that we don't forget the 2 young men that passed away tragically. We want to thank our police department for a wonderful job of investigating that, and also our Deputy District Attorney, Ron Webster, who has stayed with Gayle and the family in our community and has saw that case through to resolution. So we want to acknowledge him. There are a number of people that have been a part of that process of trying to get justice here in our community. And so, Gayle, if you want to come up. And Ron, come on up. Chief, both chiefs, come on up, because I know you were your folks responded. Come on up here. Stand here. Let me get a picture of you. Okay. Come on up. Yeah.
I just came to support Gayle.
Right. Well, just let me read a few of the whereases. Whereas the month of March was selected as Women's History Month to coincide with the United Nations sponsorship of International Women's Day on March 8th as a time of commemorative women's rights and peace. Whereas women in every race, class, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, and the ability to have made historic contributions to growth and strength of our state and nation is countless and recorded by numerous ways. Women have influenced and advanced every facet of American life and culture. The strength and ingenuity and spirit of our female leaders, innovations, and pioneers shape our nation's character and government, industry, families, and community. Whereas we also recognize the countless accomplishments of local women within our community who teach our children, care for our sick, serve in our military, start businesses, serve in elected positions, and venture into unknown frontiers. Generations of women have had to overcome obstacles put in their way of their achievements, and we affirm our commitment to support the next generation of female trailblazers and dreamers as they carry forward this distinct legacy. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Redlands thereby proclaims March, the month of March, as 2026 Women's History Month, and hereby encourages its residents to learn more about the rich and diverse history of women through available programs, reading, ceremonies, and educational activities. Gayle, it's my honor to acknowledge you and recognize you for the work that you do in our community.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You don't need one.
Hold on, I think Paul has a few words too as well. Yeah.
Yeah, with that the tragedy, it got us together. So it was a blessing for me because I'm really close friends with Gayle, and congratulations, you've been a really good to this community, what you've given on the north side and the whole community, and to be able to I can't imagine having my son shot. Thank God he was not killed, but what a lousy night that was. But anyway,
Remember like it was yesterday, that phone call.
unfortunately, yes.
Do you want to say thank you?
I want to say thank you to everyone here, acknowledging this. That right there, that night changed everything for me. Every single thing. You can't even imagine getting a phone call saying your child has been shot and his friends are dead. And that night, I can't even explain. I don't even wish that on my worst enemy. But I want to thank this community for coming together and backing me. From Rachel, Paul Barrett, and the fire people. You guys were there. Thank God. And Ron Webster, I mean, he is one of the best. I can't even explain how good of a attorney he is. And he stood up there. He went above and beyond Call of Duty. And he made sure those guys got some time. I think $298 for the shooter to life, and the other guys got $98 to life.
Make sure they stay there.
Yes, make sure they stay there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, this is yours. Try to take it away. Next presentation we have is for the month of March is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Before I call up our recipient, he has also brought a lot of his friends and colleagues that have been along this path with him. But just let me read a little bit about what this proclamation is about. Public Law 99-483, enacted by the United States Congress in 1987, designated the month of March as National Developmentally Disabled Awareness Month, whereas developmental disabilities are related to a group of physical, learning, language, or behavioral conditions that last throughout a person's lifetime, such as ADHD, autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, intellectual disability, learning disability, and other disabilities. Whereas an estimated 650,552 California live with intellectual and developmental disabilities, with approximately 1,500 individuals with developmental disabilities living here in the city of Redlands. Whereas people with developmental disabilities should be treated with dignity and respect and should have the resources needed to live secure, fulfilling lives and access in their community and services in need. Whereas stereotyping, discrimination, and or bullying toward individuals with developmental disabilities are the biggest barriers to full community integration and inclusion of people with developmental disabilities. Whereas awareness of barriers people with developmental disabilities can face in participating in the community, and collaboration on how to overcome those barriers can bring out a broader inclusion and a better outcomes for everyone. Whereas the City of Redlands strives to be inclusive and equitable community where everyone is appreciated for their unique abilities. And our recipient is Nathan and his mom, Lisa. Come on up. And I'll read the last few paragraphs and then I'll turn it over to you. Come on up. Whereas Nate's Fruit Fusion, a special needs business located in the city of Redlands, and not only serves delicious, refreshing beverages, but creates job opportunities that are specifically designed to coach, train, and empower young adults in our community with intellectual disabilities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Redlands does hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in the City of Redlands, and encourages all residents, businesses, schools, government agencies, and public and private institutions to recognize the ability of individuals with developmental disabilities to make significant contributions to their communities. Now, I first met Nathan and his mom, Lisa, when we were dedicating the a portion of the community center, and Nathan was so energetic and bubbly. We were doing a photo op, and he says, "I want to get in the picture." So he came over and he got in the picture, and he just stole my heart. And just with his personality, his just bubbly joy and happiness, and so that was what, 2 years ago now?
2.5 years.
2.5 years ago, and we have been working together to try to create places and spaces for our special needs community. And today is just acknowledging this community as part of the greater community of Redlands, and we all should be very open to wanting to make sure that they're included in everything that we do throughout our community. And so, and I believe Nathan, let me introduce Lisa, his mom, and then maybe I think Nathan has something wants to say.
Yes. So I have something to say, and this is to City Council members, Mario, Saucedo, and friends. I am deeply honored to accept this proclamation recognizing my work in supporting the special needs community. This moment is not just a personal achievement. It is a tribute to the remarkable individuals who inspire us every day with their courage and determination. Nate's Fruit Fusion, our special needs food and catering business, provides valuable job training, opportunities for individuals with developmental delays. Our mission is to empower these remarkable young adults, helping them gain the independence and confidence they need to succeed. Together We Thrive is a special needs group that I created with parents, providing a welcoming space for individuals to connect and build friendships, fostering a sense of community and belonging. In the future, we look to open a special needs cafe, a place where everyone can come together, celebrate diversity, and foster community. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the City of Redlands for believing in us. Your unwavering support and commitment have inspired us to strive for excellence and to make a positive impact in our community. Thank you for standing by us as we pursue our goals. To quote Helen Keller, "Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much." We believe in the potential of every individual, and together, we can create a brighter future for all. Thank you. Nathan, where's your speech? Come on, Nathan. Stay right there, Katie.
Where's my speech?
Okay, so Nathan, I helped him write a speech, and I'm going to hold the microphone for him. And this is Chris. He's been a very important part of our family. This is Nathan's ABA, his behavioral specialist, and also one of my best friends. Okay, you ready, Nathan? Okay, hold up. Can you do both?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Nathan. For thank you for, and I want to say thank you for coming. I hope you for coming. For your support. And it means so much to me. Together we make a difference. Thank you for believing in us.
Can I have everybody come up that has been with the young adults that have participated in our work program, have joined us in our social gatherings? I see, who do I see? Okay, we got Leaf. Leaf, you can come up here. Oh, here we go. There we go. There's Chewy. Chewy is always our employee of the month, right here. But we have Landon, Hannah, Emma, Eric. Yeah.
Eric?
Who's missing? Landon. Am I missing anybody? And this is just some of the young adults that join us in all the activities that we do, that we're able to make it today. And I'm very grateful for everyone being here. And I also see so many educators, and everyone on this section here are our supporters. And I'm so grateful for everyone that's here today. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's so
Okay.
nice.
All right.
I'm doing by left part, was what I got my lead.
Let's give him a hand. Great job. Great job, everybody. Thank you so much. Next is our public comment. Is Baron Bowman. So if this is your first time, we have 3 lights up there. We have 3 minutes to speak. Green, the orange ones, like you have the 30 seconds, and the red ones, you're done. But
Thanks.
also, I see that you checked out a box that you want somebody to follow up with you later on. After your
Well,
public-
just an ongoing discussion about
Okay.
things. I'm no good at this, so please.
No, that's fine. Me either, so don't worry about it. But take your time, introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Baron Bowman. I'll start by saying that I was absolutely horrified by what happened on Citrus on the morning of the 22nd. I have owned the Redlands Underground since August 8th, 2024. I've been in this industry ever since I was a doorman for the Brandon Iron in 1993. I've been a general manager for Chili's, the Brandon Iron Lake Alice Trading Company, Event Sports Grill. I taught the responsible alcohol service class for 13 Chili's restaurants. In over 33 years in the industry, neither myself or any establishment that I've worked for has ever been cited or disciplined for any ABC violations by any police department or the ABC. I'm very aware of the fact that the previous owner lived out of state and was very neglectful of every aspect of this business. And I fully understand why my establishment came with a bad reputation. My business partner and I had very big plans to turn the business around, but unfortunately she died right after we bought the business, and I'm about 9 months behind on a lot of the things that I wanted to do. It's not easy losing your business partner and your life partner at the same time. One thing that I would like to point out is that we are not the only bar on the street, nor are we the only bar in our building, and we aren't even the only bar in our building that is open till 2 a.m. A lot of people don't seem to be aware of that. However, when anything bad happens, we catch all the blame for it automatically by default. Some of the things that I've done since taking over, I've hired the best security team in the business. There's a zero tolerance fining policy. We rarely have any incidents within my 4 walls. When we do, they're handled appropriately. Friday and Saturday nights, we have 2 security personnel at the front door, another at the bottom of the stairs. We pat people down, we look in purses. There's always a manager floating around and 2 other floating security as well. We refuse entry to anyone who we see drinking, arguing, fighting, intoxicated, any kind of unacceptable behavior. They don't gain entry to my establishment. We have great controls in place, but I'm currently also in the process of having a restriction removed from my liquor license, which will allow me to charge a cover charge because my license prohibits me from doing so. I've invested a great deal of time and money into our kitchen. We run an almost 100% scratch kitchen. I'm very proud of the food we serve. We've added craft cocktails. We have live jazz music on Wednesdays, and we're going to be having them on Sunday afternoons in a couple of weeks. So for anyone who may be judging us on our past reputation, I just encourage you to come in, give us a chance, and see what we're about now. And let your current firsthand experience dictate your judgment, please, as opposed to past history and automatically making assumptions because of that. And thank you for the opportunity to speak. I appreciate it.
Next public comment is Corinne Garcia. And Arissa.
I actually just put my name on that because she wasn't here yet.
I was
would
late. I'm
prefer
sorry.
for her to speak.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good evening, Mayor, board members. My name is Arissa Owen, and this is Corinne. She's president, and I'm vice president of Redlands Special Education PTA. And we've been collaborating for the last year with Common Vision Coalition to plan an event we've got upcoming. On March 28th, our community will come together at Citrus Valley High School for the Super Rockstar Walk and Roll Disability Walk and Resource Fair, hosted in partnership with Common Vision Coalition and many incredible community organizations. This is a free, inclusive event open to people of all abilities. Families will walk, roll, stroll, and groove together around the track while enjoying live music, resource booths, paparazzi photos, and community connection. Events like this matter. They create spaces where students with disabilities and their families feel seen, supported, and celebrated. They also bring together schools, nonprofits, first responders, libraries, and local organizations to build a stronger, more inclusive Redlands. We are grateful to partners such as the City of Redlands Police Department, Fire Department, Sisters Making a Difference, Unite to Live with Autism, AK Smiley Public Library, and many others who are helping to make this event possible. Most importantly, this event is about community belonging, ensuring every student, every family, and every ability level is welcomed and valued. We invite our city leaders, staff, and community to join us on March 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., again at Citrus Valley High. Together, we can continue building a community where everyone can walk, roll, and thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment speaker is Mr. Dennis Bell.
Good evening. First of all, I want to commend the owner of the underground for his due diligence with his business. I also want to commend the police department for his fine work recently dealing with the big city fight and shooting on Citrus. People may be surprised it happened here. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner with it, given the types of, quote, tourists downtown is attracting. I've had people tell me they won't go downtown anymore after dark. Thank you.
Next public comment is David W. I don't want to mispronounce your name.
David Williams.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, it's my chicken scratch.
That's okay. Thank you.
Sorry for the nerves, but good evening, council members. This is regards to the recent violence downtown this last weekend. I'm very concerned about it because about 3 weeks ago, I walked by that area right here on Citrus, and there was a car parked outside with its doors open, people openly smoking marijuana, interacting with the people that were standing in line, getting ready to go into the bar. Right after I walked by, I told my friend, I says, hey, there's going to be a shooting there. Not 3 weeks later, it happened. But for a layperson like myself to see that coming down the pipes, and the bar owner, the bar's owner, both the security and the police not seeing what's going on and seeing that coming down the pipes really alarms me. I'm asking the city for two things. I'm sure you guys are doing something about it, but one of which is to have a increased patrol between at least 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. when the crowds are, I think, more rough. Also do foot patrols as well, so that way they can see people loitering, smoking marijuana, any underage drinking, kind of get that out of there, get the loitering out of there. I think that'll help decrease it as well. But also, too, if we can close Citrus down from parking for the evening part, because I think that'll take away a lot of the loitering as well, and I think that'll help increase the safety of both the areas. So the Police and Parking Commission can hopefully look into that. But other than that, I like to frequent these bars. I like to go downtown. I like to have a good time, but I haven't frequented these part of the bars for quite some time, about 3 or 4 years, because I saw the decline. So I'm looking forward to seeing future improvements.
Okay, your speaker slip indicates that you want somebody to follow up with you.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next public speaker is Jose Urarte. Forgive me if I mispronounced it.
that's good.
Please introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Jose Ugarte. So good evening, Mayor and city members of the City Council. So I've lived downtown for about 13 years, and I'm proud of the city of Redlands. I'm speaking tonight again based on the recent violence that's occurred down there. So like many residents, I was disturbed by a hit and run and a shooting there. Incidents like this shake our sense of safety. But what concerns me more are events like this don't feel like isolated incidents. It seems like more of a symptom of broader decline in what used to be a vibrant, family-friendly area. So over the past several years, I personally witnessed open marijuana use, open container use. I see individuals sleeping in alcoves of businesses, public urinating, defecating in these businesses. Families should not have to navigate this open drug use or disorderly conduct behavior when they come downtown for community events. This is not lacking compassion, but compassion must be balanced with accountability and public safety. Allowing ongoing disorder hurts our downtown. Enabling it was a cycle that harms residents, visitors, and business owners alike. Downtown's the heart of our community, a community I'm proud of. It should feel safe, clean, and welcoming. When the safety declines, foot traffic declines. And when the foot traffic declines, businesses suffer. When the businesses suffer, our city suffers. I no longer feel safe inviting my family and friends downtown, having to worry about events like this. I'm asking the City Council to take visible, measurable steps to restore order and safety downtown. That may include increased foot patrol presence and consistent enforcement of open containers, public use laws, removal of graffiti and trash abatement, as well as enforcing standards that protect businesses as well as our residents. We cannot wait for another violent incident for this before acting. Prevention must be proactive, not reactive. So I choose to live downtown, which again, I've been here for 13 years because I love this city and I want to continue feeling proud about it. I want families to feel comfortable attending events, and I want business owners to thrive. And I want Redlands to remain the city and community that we all know it can be. So thank you for your time and listening to this.
Thank you. And I did notice you also checked the box. You want somebody to follow up with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next public comment is Stephen Rogers.
Honorable Mayor Saucedo, Redlands City Council, Steve Rogers, Church Street. I wanted to read something, and it has to do with the Paris project. You know, what we brought a lawsuit about, and basically, I am going to share some information that I was describing to my attorney on the current situation here at the city. I do not mean to suggest that the Paris engineers report not being issued by a licensed PE is an actionable item at this time, but merely recalling this activity from 2012 as being the first time of which I'm aware that the city of Redlands and their special counsel, BB&K, used an unlicensed individual in such a capacity, activity that is now become rampant with the current administration. Because the MUED director has not been required to be a PE all these years and fulfill the duties of the city engineer position, no one is currently in responsible charge of the professional engineering work done by the city, and the city manager currently has professional engineering work being performed by 3 different department heads and by his assistant city manager, who is the person used in BB&K's engineer report from 2012. I've recently met with the city manager, Charles Dugan, and this situation or Duggan, I'm sorry, about this situation because the MUED director recently departed employment with the city, and the city is advertising the position and is continuing to not require the qualification of being a licensed California professional engineer so that the MUED director can fulfill the duties of the city engineer position also and be in responsible charge of all the PE work, professional engineering work performed within the MUED, and thereby be in compliance with the California Engineers Act. So you probably also saw that I sent over some information about some ADU construction up on Hilltop, and Alta Vista, I sent pictures. This whole situation has occurred basically because there is no engineer in responsible charge for this kind of work. It's not being done per the Engineers Act, and basically it's going to get the city in a lot of trouble. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have any other speaker slips for public comment. I don't see anybody on Zoom. We'll move on to the consent calendar. I have two requests to pull item I-9 and I-13.
Move approval of the balance of the calendar.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Okay, moving on to the item I-9, which is adoption ordinance number 3000, amending chapter 10.56 of the Redlands Municipal Code relating to bicycles and establish regulations governing the use of electric bicycles. Police Chief Tolbert.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This is the second reading of the proposed adoption of Ordinance 3000, recommending that the utilization, identifying electric bicycles and the utilization of them on city areas, including parks, be read into the ordinance, to the municipal code. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for the police chief?
I'm assuming everything went through council to make sure that we're doing things legally.
Yes, sir, we did. And it was read in at the last and discussed at length with council at the last meeting.
Just in case the public didn't
Of course.
see that. If I sound redundant, because I get people saying, well, we never communicate. So I want to make sure people understand that we're trying our best. We've got a lot of complaints about these electric bikes and bicycles in period. So it's good that we're doing this.
Okay, I have one public speaker on this item, Mr. Steve Rogers.
Honorable Mayor Saucedo, Redlands City Council, Steve Rogers, Church Street. I'll be honest, I haven't read this either because I really haven't had enough time. I saw it was here and I'm very interested in this. I think we need to do a good job of, I guess it's probably the enforcement part. Like I said, I got to read what's in there. But I am somewhat of an avid bicyclist, and the biggest problem I have are these kids, and lots of times they're on the sidewalk with these electric bikes. So again, one of my big concerns is motorized vehicles on the sidewalks. And I know that's illegal, and there's probably a fine associated with that. I've heard it's significant. But has anything like that been imposed? I always see kids, it says downtown, no skateboards on the streets, no. I don't say no bicycles because you have to be able to have bicycles. But as far as these motorized things, they need to be in the street. And the people need to follow all the traffic rules that all motorized vehicles follow. And so anyway, I just wanted to give my support that this is the right direction that we're going. But I think we might need to follow up with like an enforcement. What is expected in simple terms for these people? And one thing that I think we need to make sure that is not allowed are these mass groups of folks riding in the street and shutting down intersections, blocking traffic. And basically, the thing I saw downtown with the pedestrians being hit that was outside the bar here, there were people standing out in the street. Now, why that's happening at late hours of the night, and I've been told by some folks that regularly go down through there during the night that this is happening all the time, that they stop people, they harass people in their cars, and so it's the same kind of things with these bicyclists. They will block off the street and won't let the cars get by them, and then when you get up next to them, they'll start harassing you and giving you a hard time. So just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that this is a huge problem in the city. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Moderator, do we have a public speaker on I-9?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have one public speaker at this point in time. Michael Paisner, it is your turn to speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'll be brief. I understand that California recently passed an e-bike law, and I'm just wondering if someone could comment if this policy has been compared to the recent California law to make sure it's consistent and we're not creating overlapping or conflicting regulations for people. So if anyone could speak to that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
So just for clarification, and as was stated earlier, the vehicle code does account for the majority of the actions surrounding the e-bikes, especially on public roadways, the sidewalks, et cetera. This is specifically looking at the Redlands Municipal Code dealing with city property and the operation of the e-bikes on the city property. Specifically in parks and the like. So the modification of the municipal code to address that issue.
Thank you, Chief. What's the wish of the council?
I move we adopt ordinance number 3000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Moving on to item I-13, approve the use of city resources and a request for in-kind support in the amount of $130,607.96 for the Redlands Bicycle Classic event hosted by the Redlands Bicycle Classic, Inc. on April the 9th through the 12th, 2026. Approve a temporary street closures related to the event, authorize the sale and consumption of alcohol beverages at the event, and determine that the event is categorically exempt from the environmental review pursuant to Section 15311C of the state guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act. Facilities and Community Services Director Crocker.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This item is an in-kind support request from the Redlands Bicycle Classic, and they're holding their event this year from April 9th to April 12th. This will be their 40th year holding this event, and they anticipate about 30,000 attendees.
Okay, thank you. I have one speaker slip on this item, Mr. Dennis Bell.
As usual, the waiver amount for this event has increased quite a bit. Also, someone sort of learned to count this year's when it comes to attendance numbers on the fee waiver request form. The past 2 years, it was a phony 45,000 that bordered on outright fraud. Now it's down to 30,000 when it's really only about 10% of that at best. So where's this 30,000 supposed to park with the mill closed off? The Costco in Highland has an unbelievably huge amount of excess parking. Attendees could park there and ride their bikes to Redlands or take the alternative transportation the city has been touting. And then there's the excuse that this event's flea market is an opportunity for a few organizations to raise funds. One doesn't need an event, especially one this expensive, to raise funds. All one needs is booze. It'll draw a crowd like you-know-what draws flies. I can't wait for the proposed new budget to drop to see all the things the city can't fund or employees that can't be hired. Fee waivers are part of the reason why. And where are the poorly patched downtown streets going to be repaved nice and pretty and smooth for this event? Thank you.
Thank you. What's the wish of the council? Are there any questions for the staff?
How about a comment?
Okay, questions or comment?
Normally, Mr. Bell, you're kind of right on about a lot of the events don't pull the revenue that we think, but I did some quick, the TOT, which is $10 a night for every room that's leased out. If I'm not mistaken, that comes to 100% to us. Is that correct? My understanding, plus sales tax. Anyway, just that event alone brings almost $100,000 directly to the city. So, yeah, we are giving up $30,000, but and I'm assuming that the $30,000 is over accumulated to those 5 days. And I admit there's not 30,000 people there at the race, but maybe some clarification on that. But I'm assuming that's all the attendees over the whole thing.
It was part of their application, so I'm stating what's in their application, but I would agree with you that it'd be over the course of the entire event. And the 9th through the 12th is here in Redlands, and I believe the 8th is in another city. So they have a 5-day event.
But they do stay here in Redlands. I mean, you can't get a hotel room during that time, so that's productive. But I do appreciate Mr. Bell's concern about that, because I'm concerned about a lot of fee waivers on other events, but this one almost pays for itself.
Any other questions or comments? No. Entertain a motion.
I move the city council determine that the authorization for all items associated with the event are exempt from environmental review pursuant to section 15311C of the state's guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act, and I move to authorize and approve the expenditure of city resources and in-kind support in the amount of $130,607.96. I move to authorize and approve the temporary street closures as detailed in the staff report for the Redlands Bicycle Classic to be held on April 9th through April 12th, 2026, and I move to authorize the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages at the event.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Okay, that concludes that section. Now going on to agenda item J1. This is a consideration of a resolution number 8760 approving the Measure I continuation expenditure plan developed by the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority. City Manager Duggan.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Mr. Otis Greer, the Deputy Executive Director of Strategic Partnerships for SBCTA, is here tonight to give us a presentation.
Welcome, Mr. Greer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. Pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share just a little bit more about Measure I and what the board at SBCTA intends to accomplish. I assume that the presentation
It should work if you hit the button.
Hit the button. All right. There we go. As you all are aware, currently SBCTA is the fiduciary agency responsible for administering a half-cent sales tax known as Measure I. That half-cent sales tax was initially voted in by the San Bernardino County voters in 1989. That lasted from 1990 through 2010. It was so successful with many of the projects that were developed that measure was then extended in 2004. That began in 2010 and extends through 2040, which is the current measure that we're operating under. It'll sunset in 2040 and then move on to a new system. The thing that I think is important to note about why now, why are we coming to you and asking you to look at a measure when we're only 15 years into the existing measure? Well, one of the things that we did in this current measure is really advance a lot of projects. We found that there were great opportunities to hedge against inflation and cost increases, and many jurisdictions and cities went forward with projects and borrowed money from the future, bonding, in other words, in order to bring those dollars forward to expedite the delivery of those projects. As we get closer and closer to 2030, 2035, we'll find that the resources available based on debt service and so forth might be more limited. And so because of the long runway that it takes to develop a transportation project and get it prepped and ready for delivery, we did not want to lose momentum. So the purpose for having this conversation right now is so that as we get closer and closer to that 2030 date, the progress that is being made can continue and the momentum can also continue with that measure. To give you a quick look at how our current expenditure plan looks, you can see that it's broken up into specific categories. Now, remember, this was done in 2004. There was an initial measure in 1990. This was revised in 2004 into 8 different categories: major streets, freeways, traffic management, freeway projects, and local projects. And that expenditure plan was very specific and very targeted. It made sure that each jurisdiction had projects identified that would be fulfilled over the course of the measure. But one of the things that we've learned, especially in this time, is that technology has advanced so rapidly that it's really difficult to prepare for what the needs of the region will be in 2050, in 2060. We just had a conversation at the board at SBCTA about the potential to use an underground transportation system to connect the Metrolink train station with the Ontario International Airport. While we worked hard to identify how that might fit, it didn't neatly fit within any of the categories that are currently identified. And it would be hard for them in 2004 to say, hey, sometime in 2026, in 15 years, they're going to come up with this technology that'll be great. We couldn't do it then, and it'd be hard-pressed to think that we could do it in the future. So as we look toward the next expenditure plan, we've identified it in 3 different buckets. We're looking at a local mobility, which is the pass-through that comes to the cities. That's the money that's used for local streets, potholes, sidewalks, and is really a resource for the local jurisdiction. 50% of the measure money will stay with the regional mobility. This is in the valley, what we call the valley. 50% will remain for those capital-intensive projects, the big highway interchanges and bus capital projects, and then we'll have 25% that'll be available for our operations and maintenance, as well as our senior and disabled services. The mountain desert community operates slightly differently than the valley does because the needs are different. They don't have the intensity of the highway network. They don't have the rail system that we have down here. And so their expenditure plan looks a little bit different. The resource that's available to them is also a little bit different, but that explains the difference between these 2 expenditure plans. What's going to happen with the ordinance? Well, we're recommending several changes. One is the creation of an interregional mobility plan. We heard from member agencies in the mountains, in the Morongo Basin, and in other areas their concern about how tourism, how goods movement, and how the interregional travel has affected those regions, but they don't have the resource by way of the tax increment from the pass-through to offset those concerns. So creation of a interregional mobility plan will take 3% off the top and make it available countywide to really help those jurisdictions with that additional need. The Independent Taxpayer Oversight Committee, another important element that currently exists. We've had some difficulty because the way that it's written in the current ordinance specifies that you need to have an oversight from an engineer, oversight from an accountant, very specific categories, and it makes it difficult to fill when someone leaves. So this provides just a little more flexibility for the board president to be able to keep those vacancies filled and the oversight to continue. A few other provisions: it expands the priorities for greater flexibility. We've talked about that a bit. And 5% for local mobility for ATP projects, which, by the way, in our recent poll did very well amongst residents in San Bernardino County, the sidewalks and bike lanes. And probably the most significant part about the ordinance is that this is an extension of the existing half-cent sales tax. It is not an increase, so the residents won't see any increases in their taxes, simply extending what currently exists. Things that will remain the same, the Oversight Committee obviously will remain the same, 1% for administrative fees will stay in place. Private developments, we want to make sure that all the private developments still continue to put skin in the game in terms of the projects that are being delivered, and that Measure I will continue to be administered on a return to source basis. We have our project list here as just a reminder of the things that have taken place here in the city of Redlands. There's clearly a long list of things. Obviously at the top two, the interchanges at University and at Alabama, but this is reflective of the type of things that Measure I has delivered here in the city of Redlands. On the road to the ballot box, just as a quick look at where we are, what we're doing, we've conducted public outreach. We were here last year sharing Measure I information with you and the residents here. We did that throughout the county. We did a lot of work on the ordinance and the expenditure plan. We did some polling in November. That polling came back very positive. That was reviewed by our ad hoc committee. It then went to our ad hoc committee's review of the draft as well as the expenditure plan, went to the board in February. The board then authorized staff to go out to the councils, as we are here today, to seek approval from each of the member agencies in order to adopt the ordinance officially. We can't adopt it until a majority of the agencies here approve of the expenditure plan. So that's what we're here today. We'll do this through April, getting these plans approved. We'll do one more site or tracking poll in April just to make sure we're still on track and that the residents are still with us for this particular measure. We'll do that, review it, and then do our first reading of the ordinance in May with the second in June, and then on to the Board of Supervisors for their consideration of placing it on the ballot. They actually have until August to officially place it on the ballot, but we're hopeful to get that process completed by July. Once that's done, it will move into a private group that's run by IEEP with Paul Granillo's group. They've created a 501c4 called IE Moves that will serve as the entity that will do the campaign and the positive vote yes. As an agency, we don't advocate for the measure. We can only educate, but they'll be able to do the advocacy and campaign side. That is my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Greer. Do you want to add anything, Mr. City Manager, Mr. Duggan?
No, just there on the slide, there was a number of projects that have been completed in the city through our partnership with SBCTA. I think we've used our Measure I funds very wisely. We do have a number of projects that we'd like to do. We have a CIP that goes out at least 20 years, and there's a number of things on there, intersection improvements, traffic signals, and other such street widenings that we think the city will definitely benefit from.
Any questions or comments from Mr. Greer? I do also want to mention, highlight these, since my time on the board, that I serve on the ad hoc committee, and so it's nice to getting that information firsthand and bringing it back to my colleagues here into the city manager's office. But also, I believe there's a Highland and Redlands connector project that is in the works and moving through that project, that process as well. So we have been very fortunate to be having some of these funds come back and address the needs of transportation, not only here locally, but regionally. I think Yucaipa truck lane was one of them. Another one, the 210 freeway, even though it wasn't within our city limits, but it helped alleviate the traffic and both to and from Highland and Redlands. So we have been a benefactor of a lot of these funds, and so thank you for that information.
My pleasure.
Any questions? We have a make a motion?
I move that we adopt Resolution 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yes, I do. I apologize. We have a public comment. Mr. Steve Rogers. Thank you.
Honorable Mayor Saucedo, Redlands City Council, Steve Rogers, Church Street. I don't think when the voters originally approved Measure I in 1989 that we planned on creating an entire new agency which is the most powerful agency in all of San Bernardino County. I call it shadow government because we didn't vote for it. We voted to keep it for the half-cent sales tax. And the way that used to work was Caltrans used to divvy that money up as long as you were doing things the right way. Well, now, the way it works now, Caltrans is still owns the freeways. They're responsible for the freeways, but these transportation agencies are the ones that do all the work. They are the ones that do all the designs with their consultants. Their contractors do all the construction, and basically, it was the re-engineering, they said, of transportation projects. I'll tell you what. And as Otis suggested, we haven't been necessarily spending within our means all the time. What we've been doing is we borrow a whole bunch of money and pay off and do these projects. And the two projects that weren't really discussed are the ones that I've talked to this council about. I've talked to their board about numerous times, and that's the express lanes, the I-10 express lines, and the Redlands Rail or Aero project, which is also SBCTA's project. And what I tell them is these projects I see as potentially bankrupting this county. And why I say that is because of the calamity that's been caused, really, in Redlands, the development calamity that's been caused. And then on the I-10, they, instead of doing the project, which was the Measure I project, which was an HOV project between Redlands and Ontario, they did 2 lanes of express lanes between the county line and Ontario, something that wasn't even on Measure I, and something that board, SBCTA Sandbag Board, approved without a public hearing. So they violated CEQA and basically got away with stooping the whole county, because people out on this side don't realize that we're going to have toll lanes coming out here also. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have any other speaker slips. I don't see anybody on Zoom. What's the wish of the council?
Move to adopt resolution number 8760, approving the Measure I continuation expenditure plan developed by the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Moving on to item J2. This is a consideration of a public works construction contract with CSI Services for a water facilities generators project in the amount not to exceed $3,470,000, and determination that the project is categorically exempt from the environmental review pursuant to Section 15303 of the state guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act. Interim Municipal Utilities and Engineering Director Casey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the council, this item calls for the installation of generators at 4 different pump stations in the city's water system. Pursuant to the required risk and resilience assessment evaluating the city's water systems, one element that was recommended for improvement was the installation of backup power systems at the Agate, Fifth Avenue, County Club, and Texas Street pump stations. In September of 2024, the City Council approved the purchase of Caterpillar emergency power generators for the 4 sites. On December 17, 2025, the City Clerk's Office received and opened 4 bids for the installation of those generators, and after review by staff, CSI Services was deemed to be the lowest responsible bidder. Consequently, staff recommends that City Council determine approval of a Public Works construction contract and construction of the water facilities generators project as categorically exempt from environmental review in accordance with Section 15303 of the state's guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act. Staff further recommends that City Council approve the water facilities generators project plans and specifications and award a Public Works construction contract to CSI Services for an amount not to exceed $3,477,000. be happy to answer any questions you may have this evening.
Any questions for the director?
Again, another comment. I commend you. It looks like we're going to save a lot of money with this CSI Services out of San Pedro, California. What's nice about it, it's not extremely less. I always have a curiosity when everyone's at $5 million and someone comes in at $3 million. So this is good for the credibility.
Correct.
I have one public comment, Mr. Steve Rogers.
Honorable Mayor Saucedo, Redlands City Council, Steve Rogers, Church Street. I don't really have that many questions about this project. All I really want to say is that it seems peculiar to me that I guess we've already purchased the equipment for this project, and usually you don't do projects in phases like that. You're supposed to, a project is a project. It's not two different projects. I'm not sure exactly how that was done, how we decided on these specific emergency generators, I guess they are, but the cost of that was big enough that needed to be done, through a competitive bid process and all that. And I'm just hoping that happened. Usually, you have the contractor do it all, and including getting the equipment. This one's a little bit different from that perspective, and I know that Ray, came in and took this over. So it's not something that, he's doing what he's given to do. But I just have concerns because other projects here at the city, and specifically the wastewater treatment plant, is being done piecemeal, which is not consistent with how it should be done and is a violation of CEQA. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any other speaker slips. I don't see anybody on Zoom.
Move the City Council determine that approval of the contract and construction of the water facilities generators project as categorically exempt from the environmental review in accordance with Section 15303 of the state's guidelines implementing CEQA. And I move that City Council approve the water facilities generators project plans and specifications and award a public works construction contract to CSI Services for an amount not to exceed $3,477,000.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Moving on to item J3, consideration of a purchase and sale agreement with Sartin Properties LLC for the sale of Assessor Parcel Number 0168343010000 in the amount not to exceed $250,000, and determine that the approval of the agreement is exempt from environmental review pursuant to Section 15061B3 of the state guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act. Assistant City Manager Boatman.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item is the proposed sale of 4.67 acres of city-owned property located across from what's commonly referred to as the Mentone Scout House, south of Mill Creek Road and north of Mentone Avenue. The property is currently vacant and zoned open space where agricultural and other limited uses are permitted. The buyer, Sartin Properties, has represented that the intended use is agricultural. Because the property is subject to the State Surplus Land Act, the city completed the required noticing and marketing process in compliance with the act prior to entering into this agreement. The proposed purchase price is $250,000, which is consistent with an appraisal prepared by a licensed appraiser. The agreement includes 30 days due diligence, and if buyer proceeds, closing would occur approximately in 30 days through escrow with First American Title. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or comments for staff? I have two public speakers. First one is Trevor Casey.
Hi, good evening. I'm Trevor Casey. I am with Regency Real Estate here in Redlands. I'm also a local, born and raised in this area. I currently live in Mentone. I'm actually rest my head at night about 1,200 feet from this property. But the main red flag to me on this purchase agreement, and I'll like to bring it up here, is under the section proposed development of the property, buyer shall have prepared and submitted to seller in writing the plans for a mixed-use commercial, retail, and residential and parking lot. I was approached before this meeting and it was brought to my attention this may be incorrect and that this is only approved for agricultural uses. You know, if that's the case, this should not be signed because that's what this purchase agreement is stating, that they will intend to use retail, maybe some residential, a parking lot, you know, a mixed-use situation. That needs to be addressed prior to any of this sales. And furthermore, agricultural land in that area goes between $80,000 to $100,000 an acre, and $80,000 to $100,000 an acre. And I think you'd be selling the Redlands taxpayers a little bit short by letting this thing go for pennies on the dollar. When, you know, if maybe provide a counter offer, which I would love to prepare for you if you needed. But if there's an appraisal done on this, maybe that's something that could be brought to the public to see. Maybe the evaluation done it. And if there hasn't been one, maybe that should be done. So thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
He is correct, and we spoke with him ahead of time. That section was added in error. That the use that's addressed in that section would not be permitted under the zone. It would require a zone change and a council action to effectuate. And as mentioned, the purchase price was supported by a licensed appraiser, and the comps were also provided. Advice on the comps were also provided through a local real estate broker.
Mayor and Council, if 6.16, which is the provision that was referenced by the speaker, is not applicable, we can simply just strike the text and just insert in brackets reserved, because when you delete that section, it throws off all of the numbering. So we could just put 6.16 brackets reserved. That maintains the consistency in numbering throughout the document. My understanding is that text does not apply here. So if we were to delete it, that's what I would put in its place.
Okay, thank you. I have one more speaker slip. Steve Rogers.
Mayor Saucedo, Redlands City Council, Steve Rogers, Church Street. I agree with everything that the previous speaker said. I mean, this stinks. And the reason it really stinks is because why is this Sartin or whatever their name is, Sartin? If this is surplus property, then why are we just giving it to them? Why are we, I mean, this is a real estate agent, and he's saying that it's significantly more valuable, and I believe him. I believe him. He lives out there. And on top of it, then we have this language in the agreement which sort of gives the hand away on what ultimately is the idea of what they want to do with this property, which is really what's important. And so it would take a zone change. Isn't it in the county area, or is that in City of Redlands, where you guys have put a strip all the way up through Mentone that makes it very hard to figure out where Mentone starts and where Redlands ends? That strip that goes up the boulevard was completely wrong when it was done. Anyway, I know that there's a whole process for going through to sell surplus property, and I can't imagine we went through that with this. So this, as far as I'm concerned, this is a deal that's full of favoritism, and discrimination against everybody else that might be interested in that property. And on top of it, Mr. Boatman here is not qualified to be advising you all in the closed session about property valuations and appraisals. That's the area of a civil engineer. And I've told Mr. Boatman this before. I told Mr. Duggan this in our meeting, and in every other city you know, the city engineer is in the meeting because he's the one that knows about property, real property, not a planner that has no education in this kind of area. He's being used for convenience and political expediency, so that really engineering doesn't even have to come into the equation. And we're talking about this on everything the city does: the general plan, the transit villages specific plan, your development approvals. You know, you got 4 or 5 projects that are fraudulently approved. Thank you.
I don't have any other speaker slips. I don't see anybody on Zoom.
I've got a quick question. Was this, did we get bids for that piece of property, or was this decided that this company was going to get it?
It was an unsolicited offer.
It came to us, right?
Came to us, and we obtained an appraisal pursuant to council's direction. The offer was supported by the appraisal and then brought to you in open session.
Thank you. I don't know what else we can do. I mean, you can get 10 different people and they're going to tell you 10 different things. So,
So in the staff report, it does reflect that it's going to be for agricultural use?
That's correct. That's what the buyer's representing to us as well. And as I also mentioned during my presentation, we used a local real estate broker to work in concert with the appraiser to receive on obtaining comps.
All right.
Assistant City Manager Boatman, section 6.1.6. Could we just strike that language and just put reserved, so we maintain all the numbering in the document?
Absolutely.
Just out of an abundance of caution, because I've not had a chance to cross-reference everything, but I think that should do it. I would ask the council, if they want to approve the agreement, that they make the change at 6.1.6 and put brackets reserved and delete the language that's there currently, and then approve it as amended.
I'm sorry, did you say you haven't had a chance to review this?
I haven't had a chance to make sure that numberings won't get thrown off if we delete the section entirely. So I'm reserving that section number with reserved so that the numbering stays consistent. That's all I'm doing. I'll show you at page 8 if you want to take a look. 6.1.6 is the provision that we are going to strike, but we're going to keep the numbering and we're just going to put reserved next to that number.
So the language will go away and just be replaced with the word reserved, just so the numbering doesn't have to be redone.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep. Any other questions or comments? All right.
Move the City Council find approval of the purchase and sale agreement with Sartin Properties LLC is exempt from environmental review pursuant to Section 15061B3 of the state's guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act, and I moved City Council to approve the purchase and sale agreement with edit to Section 6.16. Add brackets with the word reserved in between the brackets, and okay, for that purchase and sale agreement with Sartin Properties LLC for the sale of Assessor Parcel Number 0168-343-01-0000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Okay, that was the last one. Move on to item K1, which is individual council member reports on activities for February 2026. Mayor Pro Tem has already submitted his. We'll start over here with Councilmember Tejeda.
Thank you, Mayor. 3 items to report. One, I will report that I did my public safety check-ins with the police and fire department, members of the police and fire department. That was just a regular checkup that I do with them. And then I attended Senator Eloise Gomez Reyes' community swearing-in ceremony, which was very nice this weekend.
Councilmember Davis.
Yeah, I had a one-on-one with Aaron Rogers, the CEO of Omnitrans, as I'm our representative on that board. Also related to Omnitrans, we had our Redlands Youth Council presentation this month, or last month rather, by McCool Ramos, who's the Marketing and Communications Director for Omnitrans. Students were very interested in that. There's some bus riders in the group. I also attended Senator Eloise Gomez Reyes' community swearing-in, which was fantastic. I met with my Climate Policy Council. Separately, I met with our Sustainability Coordinator and Linda Hamilton from ANCA. I was on the Teamsters Power Hour radio show with Randy Corrigan, and I did a presentation online to a group called Inland SoCal Housing Collective, along with David Rabindranath, about our Homekey project and more.
Okay, Councilmember Tejeda, you had one more?
Accidentally omitted one. I did have a meeting with a business owner of downtown Redlands. That's all I needed to add. Sorry about that.
Okay. Councilmember Barrett.
I have really nothing to report other than I was trying to get over this cough and cold I've had. So.
Okay, so I participated in the Lincoln Pilgrimage and was give a welcome to all the scouts from the surrounding local area and surrounding areas. Participated in the School District Civics Day. Was part of the Family Services Annual Board meeting and installation of officers. Also was invited by the Light of the World. They had a career day and vocational training for their community, and so I attended that. And that's all. So I don't have anything else. So if we stand adjourned to the next regular meeting of the City Council, which will be held on March 17th, 2026. Have a good evening, everybody.